Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for race number 20 of the NAMAR Mountain Dew Code Red Series Season 3 action. 50 laps here. In a twist of events, the officials have made an exception. There were going to be no yellow flags for any of the races except for this one. They were going to bring yellows. Considering the nature of where drivers are wrecking each other, coming into pit road, they thought it would be fair to just keep yellow flags away from this racetrack. So the whole tour will be caution flag free. So if we have an incident, it will be looked at after the race. Winning the coin toss was Dale Lightning, though I'm not sure he wanted to win it. Considering the nature of this track, this is the first time we're going to see how these cars act under cloudy conditions. So that should be interesting to say the least. Bit of cloud cover coming in. That'll give the cars more horsepower off the corner. We'll see how much bite the top line gets. They took away a little bit of the grip they put on the track. And the drivers have said they're going to try and give each other more bumper space to try and peek out and make a move. But we'll see if anyone does that or if it's going to be all strategy based. It might be the most boring race of the season. We might just have to take 3 or 4 commercial breaks in this 50 lap event. So Fitzwater will start second, first front row start for Fitzy. Row 2, Casey Nanako and Audra Brown-Oscus. Row 3 is James Ellison and Benny Watson. How about that? Row 3 is pretty interesting. We'll see what Watson's able to do with that top line. Johnny Gardner, Alan Cavagnaro, row 4. And in row 5, Dylan Young and Quinton Moore. So very interesting top 10 starting lineup. Let's get you to the point standings here now. Coming into race 20, Matthew Logan with a 38-point lead now after winning at Island Rally. That 38-point lead is over Andrew Rich, 43 back in third. Dylan Young, 94 back is Baran-Oscus, and 110 back is Hunter Braxton. Eli Bright, Dale Lightning, Jonathan Zorlin, Enzo Nareza, and Ryan Brommer round out the top 10 points. As we will get to the rest of your top 20 here in a moment. But first, we're going to go trackside here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for the first race of the International Tour.
Drivers, start your engines!
And we zoomed in there on excellent. So yeah, the spectator camera is just apparently the spectator cameraman will be trained to just zoom in as close to the detail of the car as possible, as I am terribly sorry for this craziness going on here. Out of my control. Want to get this race done. So we'll go to the rest of that point standings now. Nico Tringali 11th. Commons missed his second race of the season last week. He fell to 12th. Seth Cole up to 13th. Bishop down to 14th. Gardner up to 15th. Oskin down to 16th. He missed last week as well. Ellison down to 17th. Bobo Jones up to 18th. Nanako down to 19th. And Cavi moved up to 20th. So Fitzy comes into this race getting a heat win after he dropped out of the top 20 in points. Mendez rises up to 22nd. Deaver fell to 28th. He missed his first race of the season last race at Island Rally. So we're down to Fitzwater, Cavagnaro, Ellison, Seth Cole, Nareza, Braxton, and Rich. Those are the only 7 drivers who have made every race this season. So here we go through turn 4. It's quite the interesting oval to say the least. Very flat. But I think this track was made for open wheel cars, not stock cars. So we'll see how these drivers do here today. And I'm sure a lot of them cannot wait to get out of Brazil. Not against Brazil itself, but against this racetrack. Green flag is out. Quinton Moore will peak to the top. That is something we haven't seen all day. Is 3 wide. How will this play out? And wow, he really lost a bit of time there, but here it comes. Is the top going to come around for him? 3 wide on the top, not as much as that second lane does. Still 3 wide for Quinton Moore. Does he keep it 3 wide? Does he move to the bottom? Fitzwater will fly into turn 3 and take the lead away from Dale Lightning. Or not just yet. Lightning fighting back on the bottom. And here's where that third groove really comes in, is turn 4. Look at all the traction Quinton Moore has compared to the others. Fitzwater's going to lead lap 1, and Quinton Moore's up to 4th. This race could turn into quite the wild card if drivers are not able to make moves once they're single file. We know there's so many cars faster than RSS Racing's Zachary Fitzwater Sr., but what will Dale Lightning do to make a move? You see, he's just kind of stuck in line. Quinton Moore still in 4th. Does he hop in line here? No. He and Benny Watson coming up through the field. Watson's looking for a top 5 position. There's Ryan Brommer. He's making great use of the top side. Here comes Quinton Moore to the outside of Lightning, looking for 2nd. Watson up to 5th. This track is a huge wild card right now because of who's in the top 5. And it's so hard to pass at that. Can Quinton Moore take the lead from Fitzwater? Remember, Moore missed a string of races. He was 14th in points and he fell to 26th. Watson is currently 30th. He fell there after last week. Turner finally took 29th from him. Could Benny Watson have a shot at this win? Side-by-side fight for the lead. Quinton Moore takes it from Fitzwater. What a move by the 51 team of Jeremy Clements Racing. Watson knows a win right now could mean so much. It might be their only opportunity to get a win. And Watson qualified 6th, side by side for the lead. Look at this battle at Rio. This is unbelievable. Brommer and Bright in the back, side by side, just in the top 10. Does Quinton Moore get enough bite? He knows if he clears Watson, he'll get the lead and likely hold it until pit stops. But Watson seems to maybe have a better car than Moore. And Benny Watson will clear him for the lead. DMG Racing leading in Rio. And there's a gap from Moore to Fitzwater. And that's what the top 2 want to see for sure, because Ryan Brommer and Eli Bright are on the top and they are flying up here. And if they get to their outside, they will fly by into the lead. Slade Jaggers by himself at the back, just inside the top 30. Who's doing poorly from all this top line feeding, you might ask? Marty Johnson's outside the top 30. Sekuli, Riggs, Flickinger. Oskin's just inside the top 30. There goes Brommer by Fitzwater for 3rd. Does he hop in line? Does he stay high? And Brommer will hop in line. That could be key for Bright taking the lead, maybe. Ooh, Eli Bright, does he hop in line? He does! Eli Bright's going to hop in line into 4th. What a change of events here at Rio. And someone has hopped to the top. And it's Matthew Logan in 14th place. Turner running in 17th. How about this top 10? Right now, Cavagnaro holds the final spot. Ellison's in 9th. Fitzwater 5th. Quinton Moore and Watson the top 2. And you can see Watson's got the best time of 48.7. Yeah, Bright and Brommer have fast times, but they did that in the pack. See, tire wear maybe starting to come in a little bit. But here comes Matthew Logan on the top side. How much will he do? And he's going to look for 10th place on Cavi here. But the rest of the running order is single file. Jagger has fallen in line in 24th. Commons having a bad day so far. But you can just see the running order. Cage and McGore are the only ones clearly down on power. It's just these drivers will not make any movements for the lead. And the top 4 are starting to pull away from Fitzwater. We're going to take our first break of the day and we'll be back in a couple of laps. We're back here at Rio. You're looking at the front bumper of the 9 of Matthew Logan as Benny Watson continues to lead this race. What a win it would mean for DMG Racing to win a race. It would really help not just Watson, who's top 30, but Peter Onjak, the teammate who's done has not fared as well as Watson. Logan was peaking there. Onjak sits 34th in points. He missed the race here today. It's his 6th race missed on the season. He would really benefit from this. Watson has only missed one event. And when I say benefit, this is why I mean benefit. Race 22 at Yas Marina. Following that, teams will get their second round of regular season upgrades. The final upgrades will come at Kansas, which is track 33. However, it's race 34 because of the Pukeka doubleheader. I finally looked it up again. It's Pukeka. P-U-K-E-K-O-H-E. Pukeka. Pukeka. That's what that track's called. That's where our doubleheader is in New Zealand, Australia, something like that. But so Logan made it all the way up here, got a huge run through turn 3, and then he hopped in line off of 4 behind Watson. Quentin Moore, though, still having a great day in 3rd. He needs the points. Fitzwater in 6th. The top 10's interesting, and you can see right now, there's a gap to 5th, or 6th place Fitzwater. So even if you come all the way around the outside now, you're going to get stuck in 6th place. I have seen some drivers peeking their noses out. I saw Gardner do it off of 4 on lap 10 or lap 9, coming to 9 or 10, but he had no draft, and he didn't have enough power to stay to the outside in the Reza, so he hopped himself back in line. But we are seeing some people consider making moves. There you can see Bright's kind of peeking. Like anyone in this top 5 knows right now that if they move and they get in front of Watson or Moore, they have a very good chance of winning this thing. Now, in the heat races on 4X, pit stops for fuel were lap 9 to 11. We're up to 2X now. That would mean it would go from 18 to 22. However, because of cloudy conditions, it likely moves down. I'm estimating anywhere from 16 to 20 we'll see pit stops. That means it's likely a 2-stop event. And if you can't make it to at least 17, it might be a 3-stop event. So leading right now, while great for Watson, maybe not the best strategy for fuel. But this top 5 is pulling away, so Watson could still get a very good finish nonetheless. Watson actually was not Watson last week. Watson has 2 top 10s on the season. Who was it that got a top 10 last week? Oh yes, Fernandez. By the way, there were some big gains at the bottom of the points we did not go over because, you know, it's the bottom of the points. Magor from 45th to 42nd and Rowe from 46th to 43rd. Catano has fallen to 46th. Meanwhile, Wheeler and Beckett are still the only 2 drivers without at least 10 starts on the season. 3 drivers at just 10 starts, Magor, Rowe, and Anderson. Out of those 3, Rowe and Magora made the race today, I believe. Yes, and you can see Magora and Cage are very far back. Oh, so speaking of drivers, right? Want to check average finishes based on where they're running? Quentin Moore through 16 races, 19.8. He's running 3rd. Watson, 24.7 through 18 races. Definitely kicking that average. Fitzwater's is a 21.1 and he's in 6th. Fitzwater does have 5 top 10s on the season and 2 top 5s. But you can just see that they are back here. And they are tight knit. Just surprised. Oh, by the way, Bubba Jones, they switched the 0 back. That was actually the wrong 0. Seth Cole's 15, they said it's not the correct one, but it's such a small difference that they're not going to bother replacing it. And remember, pit stops can happen when people are trying to come to pit road coming out of 4. So that will be a curious corner to watch. So it looks like everyone's going to make it to lap 16 here. Ooh, and I think that's Andrew Rich trying to make a move to the top. Let's see if he sticks anything. Yeah, he takes 15th there from Zorlin. Not sure what these worn tires will be like. Ooh, Sorlin kind of getting back. Let's see. Worn tires about a second fall off. But we'll see what that's like. Worn tires on the bottom versus worn tires on the top. This separates Sorlin from Dylan Young's bumper a little bit, so that might just be one position Rich gets here, unless he finds a way. Well, he's going to dive it into 4 a lot harder, and 4's a heavy braking zone corner. He's going to take a position from Young, Gardner, and Nareza, and even Cavagnaro. He's going to move all the way up to 11th. We'll see if he stalls out here. We're on the lap 18. Looks like everyone's going to do a 2-stop strategy here today. And Rich will continue to work the outside line here on Ellison for a 10th place position. Helicopter Cam has been our friend. Top 5 still pulling away. So Rich outside of Ellison there. We're going to go up to the front, see if anyone makes a move to pit road here. And I think Watson is coming down here on lap 18. Logan made a move to the right. Is it true? No movement there for Watson down to pit road. And Rich still to the outside. Rich will likely pass all the way up to 6th. At the start-finish line, he's up to 7th on Dale Lightning. Oh, not quite there yet. Remember, the leader of the line is the toughest ones to pass. Leaders of the line, I should say, because the people farther back in line, they're doing a tons more checkup. So Rich, who was running, I believe, 16th, I don't know if he blew a corner or what, but he makes the move to the outside and he'll fly all the way up to 6th place. Lap 19. Any takers to pit road? Answer is no. Andrew Rich up to 6th. We're gonna keep you on the action here. Ooh, Ellison and a few others were ducking to the top. I wonder if that means we've got takers on pit road. We're watching from Magora and Cage. And on lap 19 to 20, the answer is no. It's just got more battles. There's Corey Riggs on the top. Big split from Baker to Seth Cole. Dylan Young and Ellison both on the outside of some drivers here. Oh, and here we go. Here's where the pit stop madness occurs. This is where things could get sketchy. Some of them are 3 wide. Ooh, contact with Gardner and the Reza. Dylan Young staying out. Ooh, contact being made everywhere. Lightning goes to pit road. Was he the only one? Nope, Benny Watson came down too there on lap 20, so that's good for Watson, but look at all the craziness this created. Quinton Moore has actually taken the lead away from Matthew Logan. And now Brommer's to the outside of Logan. That's for 2nd. So Logan lost a position, more likely went to his outside. And likely we will see a bunch of accidents from stuff like this. Remember, no caution flags. Brommer looking for the race lead from Quinton Moore. And who's coming to pit road this time by? All 4 of them. And it looks like Zorlin and Jones will stay out. Everyone's widespread here. That's some pit boxes you guys are going into. Oh, who's that? That's Lucas Catano who's going to stay out. So pit road is a mess. If I was Catano, I'd stay out too. Donovan Cage just coming out of his service. And Watson still clearly in advantage. So we'll see if staying out this long benefits. It might for the 2nd run, but considering what lap these drivers will be pitting on at the end of the race, I think you're going to want more tires on your last leg, even if it is difficult to pass. You will gain more time than you'll lose. So I think pitting early here is a good strategy call. If you're trying to gain track position though, Zorlin, Bobo Jones, and Catano, Joshua Sakuli as well, good calls there. Oh, and Brommer and Bright came out in front of Watson. My goodness gracious, that's probably that outside maneuvering they had to do. They gained time, and Ryan Brommer now leads. The dream has been currently squashed for Benny Watson. We'll be back shortly. Actually, you know what? Wait. We're going to wait and see where Brommer comes out in comparison to Zorlin. And remember, Brommer and Bright have fresher tires, so Watson is stuck in third. And there's Zorlin. Bobo Jones actually going to get out in front. So Bright second, Watson third. Jones will come out in fourth, right in front of Quinton Moore, who's in fifth. Rich sixth, Lightning seventh. Hudson is eighth, Ellison ninth, and Zorlin 10th. So that is your top 10 running order. Brommer leads here at Rio. We'll be back after these messages. 26 laps down, 24 to go, and Ryan Brommer has a 2.6 second lead over second place, Eli Bright. Down 4 seconds now is Benny Watson. I had a feeling this would happen. He's by himself. He can't even keep up in Bright's draft due to the engine and chassis disadvantage, or advantage over the 36 that the 88 has. So he's fallen back. He's still in third for now. Still a very good point stay and purse if he can get a top 5 finish. Jones, who came out of pit road from the last group, is still running in fourth. Quinton Moore holding on to fifth for the time being. Rich, Lightning, Hudson, and Ellison trail this, basically the last big group left. Meanwhile, Zorlin by himself in 10th. Zorlin doesn't look like Zorlin's closing or anything. But how about Ellison, Hudson, Moore, Watson, all in the top 10. All great days for these teams who are usually just outside the top 10 or outside the top 20 in some cases. In fact, just to double check, I know Watson's got 2 top 10s, but Moore has a top 5 and 5 top 10s. We know that Ellison got that one win back at North Wilkesboro, but he hasn't really finished in the top 10 a lot. He's only got 3 top 10s from other than that one win. So other than the one win in 19 races, just 3 top 10s, average finish 19.3, and he has begun dipping towards the cut line of the top 20, which would mean we would have to start playing games with where, well, now you got to be top 19 in points because Ellison's in 20th, or Ellison's in 22nd. So Ellison's been dipping down towards that cutoff line as others have gotten better. So he's doing a good job today so far, trying to gain some points. And yeah, Watson is just plummeting down towards this pack. We'll see if Jones is able to make a move on him or not. But Watson will likely be back down pit road on 36, maybe 37. Brommer's gone. So unless some crazy stuff starts happening and there's like a roadblock in the track, it's unlikely anything crazy will happen here. So Zorlin is 10th, but some crazy stuff did happen. I don't know if a lot of drivers got penalties or if they just had so many problems on pit road, but Cole Baker's made it up to 11th. Alexander Rowe 12th, Catano 13th. Jagger is 14th, Sekuli 15th, then Voiles, Magora, Ice, King, and Otts. That's the top 20 guys. A lot of people with problems. Flickinger 21st, Commons 22nd. Fitzwater dropped to 23rd. Baranowskis is 24th. Gardner down to 25th. Mendez 26th. Turner 27th. Johnson 28th. Tremblay and Oskin, that's the top 30. Cage is 31st. Seth Cole 32nd. Tringali, Braxton, they've been closing in slowly. Nareza and Young is a little group. And then the Nako Cavagnero are a group. And then at the very back is Riggs and Logan, who was in the top 5. So I don't know what happened. They have no damage. Likely maybe penalties. There was a lot of crazy spread out stuff going on trying to get into pit road. But not the way they wanted to start the International Tour. Logan is at the moment going to receive 3 or 4 points. So depending where Rich or Young finishes, they could take the points lead. Well, Young is not going to get it, so it would have to be Rich. And something just broke on the Nako's car because Cavi just went to his outside on his own. We haven't seen that all day. Sorry for the stuttering. I don't know if something broke or what. It looks like the Nako got it figured out. But he let Cavi go and gave him a ton of time. So that was very, very peculiar. Brommer continues to lead. Watson has been caught by this pack. But no signs of anyone making a move. We're going to take one more quick break and we'll be back for the final round of stops. Inside the cockpit of James Ellison's car. Casey Nanako did come to pit road. Not sure if they had a tire go down or what. They took right sides only and they were done in a way. So we could see two-tire pit stop strategy come into play here. Do you take two? Do you take four? Doesn't even matter. You can't even seem to pass at this track other than pit road strategy. So that'll remain to be seen. Watson is holding up this group. But we're going to go to our trusty helicopter camera. And we're going to wait for pit stops because this is one of the biggest groups on the track. The next biggest group of train cars is likely 14th to 28th. And other than that, there's no signs of any possibility of accidents occurring. Remember, when people go to pit, if you pit early and the other group's not going down, everyone spreads out. It's a good time to gain positions. Brommer and Bright will not have that problem. They are by themselves in La La Land. So we're on lap 35. We'll see Brommer or Bright pit earlier now because they've been by themselves. And we'll see just what Watson does here. Coming to lap 36. 36, 37 likely the starting point. So I think the longer you go here, you take less fuel. If you just take tires only, you might actually turn out better than someone taking right side tires. So see, the lap times aren't terrible. It's only 1.2 seconds. But you also got to remember who gets bagged. Is anyone going to get bagged for penalties here? And then you have lap cars in the mix who can't pass. It's going to get crazy. Who in this top 10 stays in the top 10? Could we see some weird drivers getting top 10 finishes here? That would be interesting. Imagine Cole Baker gets a top 10 finish. Ooh, are they pitting? Baker is right on the bumper of Zorlin, and then there's a gap to Rowe and Catano, and then there's another 4-second gap to Jagger, who's holding up a line of cars who don't want to pass anybody. Baker sits 40th in the points with no top 10s and an average finish of 30.4. Baker's missed 6 races this season. So the time is coming. Who makes a pit stop here? Lap 37, final stop of the day. Hudson peeking to the right. Ellison getting to his inside. But is that what you wanted to do? It looks like it's going to work out. We're going to see an inside line pass here by Ellison because he's got the pole of the draft. Put the 11 to 8th. I think that's the first inside pass I've seen all day. Ellison just kind of shoved his nose in there and he got it to work. No one went down pit road. We're on lap 38 now. Unless some people went from the back. Oh, here we go. Watson and Lightning are pitting here. Looks like Jones is the first to stay out. There it is, Watson and Lightning. And there's a bit of a spread there. Rich to the outside of Moore. Brommer and Bright stayed out. And here's a really big spread. It's Magora and Cage going down pit road. Same with Alexander Rowe. And to the inside, or to the outside there is Otts in the 28. See if he gains anything there. Look at Andrew Rich flying by Bobo Jones. Brommer will make his final stop of the day. So will Eli Bright. And it looks like everyone but Jones will pit here. I'm curious on the strategy of the 3 car from the lead. Jones just barely led that lap. And at 11 to go, right sides are up for the 3 of Brommer. Looks like that's it. Right sides only. Right sides only, and he's gone. A little hesitation there. Looks like Jones the only one to stretch it another lap. As far as we can tell, that is. We'll see what the strategy of the 0 car will be. Here he comes into pit road. Looks like right side tires for pretty much everybody. Pit stall right in front of the start finish line. And right sides for the 0 as well. So we will take our last break and be back for the finish. Coming to 5 to go here at Rio. We stayed away this long because there really wasn't anything meaningful to show you guys. Nothing's really happened. Brommer still leads 4.5 seconds over Eli Bright. Bobo Jones is 3rd. Andrew Rich 4th. Hudson has moved into the top 5. He's in 5th. Watson's down to 6th. Lightning 7th. Rowe has made it into the top 10. He's in 8th. Sorlin right on his bumper 9th. And James Ellison rounds out the top 10. It's been a wacky race. Quinton Moore's down to 11th. Slayjagger's up to 12th. Magore's 13th. Voiles 14th. Catano 15th. Otts, King, Ice, Sekuli, Flickinger. That's the top 20. Cage is 21st. And then a ton of very good cars. Baker has fallen from 11th to 27th. Tremblay's down to 26th. And there are just so many good cars that are, it's just all great race cars outside the top 30 today. So a ton of poor point stays for everyone. Logan 39th, Young 40th. Rich is going to get a 4th place finish. He will likely take the points lead here. Young is actually a lap down behind his teammate. But so Brommer, who was the 2nd RCR driver to win, he won his first and only race back at Memphis. Now, Baran Oscus didn't win until Trenton, but then she won again at Watkins Glen. And now Brommer will be the final RCR driver to get 2 wins on the season. Dylan Young is at 3. He leads the team. But RCR will be up to 7 victories unless Brommer blows up. And that would, I believe, tie Junior Motorsports. Rich has 2 wins. Lightning 2 wins. Okay, no, they'd be too short. RCR would be up to 7. Junior Motorsports would be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Junior Motorsports and RCR, 16 wins if Brommer gets this. Well, either way, 16 wins. If Bright gets the lead and he wins, that would be 10 wins for Junior Motorsports. But through 20 races, 16 of the 20 races are Junior Motorsports and RCR. Colleague equals 17. Roush 18, Ganassi 19, and JD. All those teams with 1 apiece. That makes 20. So it's been a bit of a domination there for RCR and Junior Motorsports. Like I said, upgrades are coming after Yas Marina. Could the tide shift at the end of the regular season? We're seeing signs of it. Hudson in 5th, Watson in 6th, Rowe in 8th. I mean, that's all strategy, but Watson has been at the front of the field all day. Next track, we head to Africa. It's Kyalami. Will be the next chain of road courses. So that should be an interesting race. Hopefully there's passing on the racetrack, as we have just taken the white flag here at Rio. It was an interesting track to try out. I kind of wish I had done testing, because this basically turned into Chicago Motor Speedway version 2.0. But yeah, this track definitely more for open wheel cars than stock cars. But I'm glad that I put this track on the schedule just so that it could be the only oval on the International Tour. But I kind of wish I put another road course. Oh well. I spent the time, I put in the effort, and winning his second race of the season will be Ryan Brommer here in Rio de Janeiro. He wins in Brazil. Eli Bright will get second, Jones third, Rich fourth, and rounding out the top 5, Colt Hudson. Benny Watson, best finish of the year, I think, maybe, or tied it in 6th. Dale Lightning gets 7th. Alexander Rowe will hold on to his first top 10 of the season in 8th. Sorrell in 9th, and Ellison rounds out the top 10. So an interesting race for sure, but definitely one to skip over and forget. Hopefully Kyalami is more exciting. So I will see you all in South Africa.